The official blog of the ANKR Crypto let loose an article that, dear viewer, was meant for us. How do I know this? Because teasing this image to our community here at Unusual Due Diligence is like bringing a box of donuts into a kindergarten class. You just know someone is going to be sniffing glue. And to quote the Kevin Dwyer and Kev Silk, authors of the article, quote, "Trust me, it's all connected," end quote. So begins our unusual journey to the land of $1 per ANKR token. Welcome to Unusual Due Diligence. I am your host Poseidon, God of the Sea. In this seaside, fresh episode of Unusual Due Diligence, we're going back to ANKR again because the ANKR team has issued the Horn of Gondor, and we must answer. Here's how. We're going buck hunting, and I don't mean teeth. You see, in our quest for ANKR to reach $1 US, or $1, we're going to take a look at this article that Kevin and Kev wrote on the ANKR team and see what clues they've provided to us. Let's start with this one, just because it caught my attention first. Quote, Zuck rebranded his company as Meta. Bitcoin became legal tender in El Salvador, and someone or somehow, thanks to a JPEG cartoon ape, your cousin Johnny is now a millionaire that gets to hang out with Steph Curry, end quote. Now, if you're a long-time viewer of this channel, and according to my channel stats, it's a good chance you are, then you already know about my covering in the metaverse, and how it expands well beyond the Facebook idea of Meta. Links to those videos will be below in the description. Now here on Unusual Due Diligence, we've not yet covered the geopolitical movement of Bitcoin, such as adoption in various countries. The most you'll find covered here on this channel is linking together some cryptocurrency movement to some action happening in Singapore. Action that, well, to date, remains a bit nebulous and shrouded in secrecy. But let's draw on this last quote. Quote, Johnny is now a millionaire that gets to hang out with Steph Curry, end quote. An idea powered, no doubt, from NFT action. NFTs are interesting, but this name dropping of someone very specific, that's what caught my attention. There's a lot of famous people, even in basketball, but also other sports that are doing something with Bitcoin or crypto. And while I swore to myself I would not be making another unusual basketball due diligence video showing strange connections to basketball and how that means the moon is in sight for ANKR, well, here I am, making exactly that video. For the audience members who don't know, Steph Curry is a basketball player. He's what you'd call a pretty good basketball player. According to Wikipedia, quote, Curry is widely considered to be the greatest shooter in NBA history. He is credited with revolutionizing the game of basketball by inspiring teams from high school to the NBA to regularly use the three-point shot. Analysts have referred to him as the Michael Jordan of the three-point era, stating that he did for the three-point shot what Jordan did for the dunk, end quote. And growing up in the 80s, Michael Jordan was the guy every kid wanted to be. He had a certain machismo, and when in the 90s we learned he knew Big Bugs Bunny, I mean, that was match set point. None of my friends knew animated characters like Mike. So, just for reference, Michael Jordan is also pretty good at basketball too. Michael Jordan is an interesting reference for us here, and not just for a trip down memory lane back to the movie Space Jam, which, did you know that came out in 1996, exactly 10 years after the release of the greatest, or at least one of the greatest animated marvels of all time, which is Transformers the movie. So let's go back to Jordan. You know why he's an interesting intersection here in our crypto story? Well, it's because of the Air Jordans, or I should say the Nike Air Jordans, the sneaker that redefined sneakers. And why do sneakers matter to us here? Because Nike is going all in on the metaverse. Consider the new snippet on the screen. Nike smells an opportunity to position it in the metaverse ahead of all of its competitors. Okay, Poseidon, what about this Steph Curry fellow? Well, Steph Curry doesn't wear Nike. Instead, his sneaker is that of the brand known as Under Armour. Now, if Under Armour or Nike want to reach out to me and offer me free sneakers, I'd be all for it. I happen to like both brands about equally in the footwear department, depending on what I'm doing. Underwater shoes tend to wear out pretty fast, you know? Under Armour is a potent brand. I'm sure you've heard of them before, because if you do any recreational sport activity whatsoever, you've come across them. Okay, well, we need to quickly recap, and then we'll continue swimming. We're getting very close to something very important. I can feel it. First, the ANKR community team teases us with an interconnected web of theories and drops us off on a porch with a few concepts we've already talked about on this channel. First, the metaverse, and then cryptocurrency becoming legal tender, and then name dropping one very specific basketball player. Which basketball player? Steph Curry. Okay, so what's so special about Steph Curry in the lens of ANKR? Why not mention any of the other personalities in basketball doing stuff with cryptocurrency? Well, viewer, let's start with this. What team does Steph Curry play on? If you answered Golden State Warriors in the NBA, you'd be correct. And so, what arena do the Golden State Warriors call home? It's called Chase Center. Oh, but it gets better, but we need to slip back in time to 2016. There, quote, on January 28, 2016, it was announced that JP Morgan Chase had purchased the naming rights of the arena and that it would be known as Chase Center. The Golden State Warriors had the official groundbreaking ceremony for Chase Center on January 17, 2017, end quote. JP Morgan. Wait, is that the same JP Morgan that called Bitcoin worthless but then was investing partner that sunk $65 million into the cryptocurrency Wall Street firm known as Consensus? Yes, viewer. Yes, it is. Let's keep going. Steph Curry recently circulated in the news with Tom Brady as the latest brand ambassador for the cryptocurrency exchange FTX. In this article on Decrypt.com, we learned that the forces that helped push ANKR into a deal with the Kings. That is, we're learning an important piece of the puzzle here. Quote, the Kings and crypto startup ANKR, which lacks the name recognition and cachet of FTX, but sports millions in investments from Pantera Capital and trades on Coinbase, have announced a multi-year partnership to produce educational content, host events, and create innovative projects that showcase ways to support the growth of the blockchain industry. Now, you ready for this one? Pantera Capital. Where else have we seen that name? Oh, that's right, as shown on the screen here. Pantera Capital has investments in both FTX and ANKR. So, the investment powerhouse that has a sizable position in ANKR and FTX has linked ANKR into a sports deal with the Kings and has pulled Steph Curry to become brand ambassador for FTX. Now, in prior videos, we've been pulling back the curtain, revealing the networks of all the inner workings of the systemic capital investments that are bringing our favorite cryptocurrencies onto the world stage, and now seeing that Pantera has the chessboard set with Steph Curry and ANKR and FTX. Oh, this is really interesting. Oh, but wait, as wild as that is, let me leave a parting thought. Something that ANKR had just issued. ANKR recently published a light paper discussing their internet bond solution. Now in El Salvador, this is a very interesting quote. Quote, El Salvador to issue $1 billion in bonds. With Bitcoin. Curious. Are the future of government financed by way of bonds secretly powered by ANKR? Isn't that the question? To replay what the authors of this article have started all this exploration today with, it goes like this. Quote, it's all connected. End quote. Dear viewer, this is Unusual Due Diligence. I am Poseidon, god of the sea and buyer of more ANKR. Make waves, my friend.